Hey, welcome back to the video. My yard is a fucking travesty. Don't pay attention to the stupid tricone. We're walking across the Eastern Kingdom still. The journey is to the Arathi Islands. Then after that, I don't know, through the wetlands and some other shit. There'll be more episodes. So stay tuned and into the video. Hello. On the previous episode, we walked from Silver Moon City all the way through the Ghostlands and to the Eastern Plaguelands. And then we took a break at a tower where we camped overnight before walking again. And I actually filmed another video, but I since deleted it because I wanted to do better, and a lot of people preferred just having me talk rather than like have friends and conversation and stuff. So you'll get a glimpse of that, and we'll get back into the video.
A lot different. It's still boring as shit. What do you mean by that?
Do you like it because it's boring?
Yes.
Why do you like it because it's boring?
That's like the whole...
Welcome back. We are continuing our walk. So we're going to be heading to the Eastern Plaguelands. Then we're going to visit Uther's tomb. And then we're going to go down to Hillsbrad. Probably end up through the Ultric Valley. Yeah, it would. And then that'll bring us to the Highlands. I'm so happy that the video has turned out so well. I didn't think people would actually want to watch me tell stories about playing a video game I've been playing forever. Originally, I recorded this episode beforehand with like my girlfriend and two friends, and it was kind of chaotic. I didn't think people were really gonna like the first video, so I decided to just scrap it and do this right, the way that people want this done. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do this. We're just gonna keep on walking, and I'll keep on telling stories if I got them. Thank you so much for the support and all the new subscribers I got. I didn't think this video would get 1,000 views. That's the most I've ever gotten ever. The WoW community has been absolutely amazing to me. Yeah, the WoW community has been absolutely amazing to me. I'm so very fortunate that people are just taking to the video as well as they are. That's super cool. We're walking through the Eastern Plaguelands. I remember by Light's Hope Chapel, I think that's where Naxxramas was, before they got rid of it. Again, I don't really think I get why like they kind of removed it, but I also don't get it. It was cool that they brought it back in Wrath. I didn't get to experience it as a vanilla raider. I did raid a little bit in vanilla, not a whole lot. I definitely fell under that hunter, everything is a hunter weapon. Yeah, I remember. So Doll, was it the swords are like Doll Ren or something? Let me pull them up. I swear it's like Doll Ren. There's two of them. It's Lower Blackrock Spire. It won't show up. I'm just gonna do all classes. Okay, not that. Upper? It's not gone, right? What the heck's upper? Do I just not... I don't get it. Where is the one with the orcs? Lower Blackrock. It wasn't a raid. It was kind of like a micro raid. I don't know anymore. Okay. Did that just later become a different dungeon, maybe? I bet it did. Google. This was like uppers. I always read it as like Ubers and Lubers. There it is. Dalren's Sacred Charge and Dalren's Tribal Guardian. So it was the two of them. I used to see hunters with that thing all the time, and I thought they were so cool, so I wanted them, despite they were not good for my class, but it would have looked really cool on my class, though. Remember when I was gearing up, I didn't really know much about like the later dungeons. Again, as I said in the last episode, I learned a lot from word of mouth. or just like seeing a dungeon on a map and going, oh, what's that? That's how I ended up in Black Fathom Deeps. I think that was the first dungeon I ever did. I remember I set up a group once for Upper Blackrock Spire, and I basically did it as like a mini raid during Classic because I heard that you could do it. And by the time I started doing it, people were already saying like nobody was running it like that, but I decided to just do it anyways. I don't remember if we completed it. I think we got like half the bosses done before everyone kind of just quit, not getting like the gear they wanted. Because it didn't like up the gear drop rate. I think it was still like 1 or 2 pieces or something like that per boss. I just wanted to do it because I found out you could do it. That's what I ended up doing a lot in Classic, was just finding out I could do something. So I was like, oh, like that, you can get Fire Enchant? Yeah, gimme. I'm getting Fire Enchant. For the longest time on my Hunter, I didn't even know I was even a range class. I was walking around with a 2-handed sword and a pet. Probably because, you know, that gap that the hunters had is like the dead zone. Something would cross over the dead zone and I wouldn't instinctively just like, I'm going to slow it and like get my bearings and figure that out. I would just like, oh, melee time now. I only had like 2 melee abilities. You have, I know Mongoose Bite was one of them. I think there was another one. I know like you could wing clip it and get away, but again, I didn't realize that. So I ended up getting like a 2-handed sword with like a frost enchant on it. And I was in like, what's the zone of Dire Maul? I'm gonna end up going through it next episode. Not next episode. Fair loss. Not next episode. I do intend on doing, I keep pronouncing it wrong. I know it's not Kalimdor. It's Kalimdor. I plan on doing the entirety of Kalimdor after I finish the Eastern Kingdoms. And then maybe I'll do MLP. Or maybe I should just do it in order. I don't know. I guess I'll just let you guys decide if I should just do Pandaria, seeing as the expansion's coming up. That could be fun. Or should I just go in order? You know, it's Kalimdor, go to like the Outlands, and so on and so on. Yeah. I never really did any significant leveling in this zone. I really doubt very many people did. I don't think this was a big zone for questing. I definitely remember it was a great zone for farming mining shit. Man. Also, a lot of these zones has changed since I've been in them, because, you know, Cataclysm, you know, ruined the game. I wouldn't say ruined, but it definitely fucked up some of my favorite zones in the game, and they never returned to being normal again. Lock mode on, my favorite zone in the game. Definitely want, if there's a top 5 list for me, it's in the top 5. They drained the lake, and now I hate it. It just, oh, I killed the vibe of that town so bad. And I get, you know, they did everything to make questing better, but can they just rebuild the dam at this point? It's been like over 10 years. They rebuild Stormwind over and over again. I'm not even an Alliance player anymore. That's how long it's been. I do have a couple Alliance characters, though. In BFA, so I quit pretty much the entirety of BFA, and I just didn't like it. I would play it here and there, but then later on, during Shadowlands, I didn't like Shadowlands that much. But I did actually spend a lot of time in Shadowlands during the second patch, not the first one. I ended up making an Alliance character and going through and just playing catch up on everything I missed out on BFA via Alliance, not Horde. And honestly, the Alliance zone was so good. I had a blast doing it. The zones are so fun. They have like that spooky zone with like the Drust. Storm Song, two of those zones in there, actually three of those are probably in my top 5. They're all incredible. It's like all the boats sailing around. It's just so good. It's like you would want to build a house there and live there. I enjoyed the Alliance questing so much more. The quests were so varied and fun. And it's like, you go to the Horde, I'm going to go to a fucking swamp. Oh, do you like that? I'm going to go to a fucking jungle. And then I'm going to go to a desert. It's like, oh, the Alliance, you get to go around and play pirates and like sail around in boats and crap. And then the next zone, it's like, I'm going to go like do Cthulhu stuff and summon old gods. And then the other zone is like this creepy Druss zone. Oh my god, the aesthetics varied in them so hard. And they all fit so well together. Oh. I go back occasionally and just replay them on Alliance characters. They're so much fun. The Horde just got... Everyone, you know, everyone says the Horde has like better stuff. I just don't agree with it. I like the Horde for its races. And like its lore is really good. But the Alliance has way better cities. Like Darnassus, beautiful. I loved Darnassus. As a night elf, as a night elf character being my first thing, Darnassus was super influential on me. I spent so much time there. I remember rolling up and like looking at like the mounts, and I didn't really know what they were, kind of. That's back when mount riding, so the ability to ride mounts was 1 gold, but to get a mount was 99 gold for, I think, the epic. Because I think the other one was like, again, it was like 1 gold and 49 gold or something like that for the regular ground mount. I remember being in Dark Shore and a person like riding past me on like the 60% mount, and I think I messaged him. I was like, dude, you are so badass. And I like wasn't even joking. And I was like, that's what I want for myself. I want that mount. And it's so weird with all these cataclysm things. I'm not like a purist, or I appreciate change and I think change is good, but like some things, I don't know, maybe I haven't quested this zone since they changed it. Maybe it's great. I don't know. I think I'm just always kind of conflicted in how I feel about things, because I can always kind of see where somebody else might think differently, and I'm usually just okay with that. Where am I going? Oh, straight. All right. Yeah. We're still on the path. We're gonna end up going through Anderhall, and then we're gonna go stop off and see Uther, and go say what up to him. The world just feels so much bigger. I do really enjoy dragon riding and what it's done for the game, but for a long time, a lot of people said in BC that flying kind of ruined everything. And I get the sentiment, and I also kind of feel that ground mounts are kind of pointless at this point, other than like looks and stuff, and they're just, fun to have. I mean, if you're going for functionality, just, a flying mount will do the same thing as a ground mount. It's just not as interesting. All right, so that's the way we're going, down there, right past the man and his dog. I wonder what the significance of this city is. I've seen it so much, and I've never known really what it was known for. Other than, I think this is all part of Lordaeron. So I guess it's known for dying? Or undead? Enderhall. Let's look it up. Okay. So this was like a big distribution center town. Totally makes sense of like why it'd be absolutely eliminated by the undead. I'm killing some undead because I think it's what Uther would have wanted. Dang. I'm pretty sure they're gutting my class soon for the next patch. Which is fine. I'll just go become Frost. Frost is like half the reason why I made a Death Knight. It's just Unholy is really good right now. Or I'll just go back to my Hunter, but I kind of am really enjoying just the Death Knight right now. I wonder what the reason is for this place in Classic. Not for lore wise, but like, I don't remember there being a whole lot of quests here. I know when you hit 50, it's kind of a struggle to hit 60. Well, it used to be. I know now people have way better methods of doing everything. We just didn't. I remember grinding out like the few quests in the Burning Steps and some others. I mean, like Blackrock Mountain and all that other stuff around it. I don't think the Badlands really had anything in it. It's like, why is the Badlands? It's pretty bad. It's really, really hot out today. It's like 100 degrees in Massachusetts. And for us, that's, you know, that's a lot. It's really hot and wet out. When it's hot here, it's just wet. It's never dry heat. I don't know if that's actually any better. Everyone always says, like, from here, it's different over there. They got dry heat. The Crummy? No. And the Hag. These are dangerous times, adventurer. Walk lightly. Okay. See, this is how the game is meant to be played. You're supposed to walk everywhere. This is so good. I was here yesterday because obviously I I recorded like another version of this that I just scrapped entirely. Look how pretty this is. I know this is like the Paladin Order Hall now. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I call it candles. No, don't step on that. I'm gonna like do it without stepping on the stairs, but oh, because I'm why can't I look at this? Oh, what the frick? Okay, I don't understand what just happened. The funny part about this is that, so if you're an Alliance character, you can read this because this is what common is. Be me, an orc. Be me, an orc. I can't read it. I think it's important to sometimes just stop and smell the roses. Look at all the art that all these people created. It's here for you to enjoy. All right. But now pay your respects to the man. God, God, priest, get out the frickin' way. Just making sure I don't mess up the joint. Can you just stand? Wow, yeah, that does work. Nope. So now we're gonna go to camp. Chillwin Camp. And make our way down to Alterac Valley. Or Alterac Mountains. Do you remember when the Alliance used to win at Alterac Valley, like, pretty consistent? I think they had a better setup. I know ever since the change, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think Horde wins a lot more. I know Alliance, at least I never noticed it because I was an Alliance player. But I guess the Horde always said the Alliance had better choke points, and now I guess looking at it, yeah, we definitely had better choke points. You could turtle as an Alliance way easier than Horde can. There's a lot more, like, with the mountains go together, which I just described a choke point. They got new construction? But the world now, that's going to be like a $400,000 house. Even in a bad neighborhood. Did you guys ever play Peggle? Like, I know Peggle as a game exists, but do you know about the add-on for Peggle? There was a point in time in Wrath of the Lich King where a lot of us were just sitting around in Dalaran playing Peggle. It's not that very many levels, and they never added any more. Oh yeah, that's right. This is also Midsummer Fire, whatever. Fest? Midsummer Fire Fest, yeah. If you're questing these things, the bonfires, are great for experience points. You can really bang out a lot of levels in this fest. I mean, there's also a buff right now, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, probably. Oh. Uh-oh. The gods are coming for me. Oh, I hope that guy doesn't try to kill me. I'm just a friendly neighborhood orc, despite my orcish appearance, I guess. I even put a little tricone hat on so they wouldn't think me be... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Threatening? Threatening. I appreciate that at night, like, some of these zones actually get a little dark and the lights come on. I swear it's not the same now in current WoW. I don't think the zones are as dark. Or maybe it's just these parts. I still remember the first time I came to Hillsbrad. I was always just blown away by, like, just straight up evergreen trees. It really did not take much to make me happy. Remember, it was a significant zone for me because that's where I got my first shoulders. I'm pretty sure it was Hillsbrad. That's where most people get it, because you don't get the helmet until a little bit later, and it's like a cloth helmet. But I think that's when mobs start dropping, like, shoulder pieces, and they're like, you know, shitty gray shoulder pieces. But I remember I was so fucking happy when I got my shoulders. I still remember the first time I saw, like, a max level character and they had every slot, like, filled down the character sheet, and I was like, that's what I want for myself. And it was so cool. Like, when you finally get, like, every item, you look, like, so mismatched, but you just, you know, you felt like cool, like an adventurer. I do love transmog. I am absolutely a slave to transmog. Clearly. I go out of my way to get transmog pretty regularly. I do kind of miss sometimes that when it didn't exist, you just had to like kind of look mismatch. It did drive me a little crazy sometimes, especially if you're a cloth player. The shoulders were all really obscenely bad. And if you have seen them, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen them, you should just go play Classic for a little bit as a clothy. Get to around, like, I think it's in the almost 20s. You'll see them. They're all super tiny. They look like shit. But, yeah, hey, you got a shoulder. You did a thing. I know the chainmail ones and the leather ones aren't that bad. As a hunter, obviously leather, you get mail later on. I remember also, like, grinding Scarlet Crusade for, like, Herodes pieces, because it was the cheapest way to get mail pieces. It sucked in the early levels of being, like, a level 40 hunter when you finally switch over to mail. Most of the mail is all still strength-based. At least it used to be. I can't speak for now. It probably hasn't changed in Classic, but maybe it has. Yeah, it was pretty much all strength-based still. They were designed for warriors and paladins. And then, I don't know if it was like an afterthought for the mail thing, or was it just later on? Because at 40 as a warrior, you were still, like, you got a plate, but like, right before that, in the early 30s, it's all still strength based, and even still, there's like mail pieces that are all strength based that warriors and stuff are still wearing. I don't remember when the first bosses start dropping like plate pieces, but I definitely remember they were dropping mail pieces still. So I was running like, I gotta stop saying like. I was running like Razorfen, is it Downs or is it Crawl? Yeah. Oh, Razorfen Downs is when you first start getting plate. But yeah, I remember running that to get mail pieces, running to get her running Scarlet Monastery and Armories, especially Armory, to get Herode's shoulder and Herode's helmet and the other Scarlet pieces you can get because they're all mail. And for some reason, the two-handed axe, don't know why I had it realistically. Again, as I said earlier, I basically thought hunters were a melee class. Boy, I was wrong. Do you remember doing like Altaric Valley and you can get like there was a spear for the quest and it was obscenely good for hunters. It was like the ice barbed like barbuet or some barbuet or something like that. Oh, it's just called ice barbed spear. Yeah, it was really, really good. It had agility. I was rocking that for a very long time. I think even up to max level, I was still using it. And like you could get, not for a hunter, but goddamn, you could get the stoppable force. Fuck. Yeah, so you could get the unstoppable force. It was like this black mace. Oh, that's so weird. The other day when I was wearing this axe, it didn't hang out on my back. I just noticed that. Okay. So yeah, you could get the unstoppable force. It was a super good mace. I remember enhancement shamans grabbing that shit and one-shotting people. Because what would happen was Wind Fury would proc off Wind Fury, which would proc off Wind Fury. So on and so on and so on and so on. I know I later played an enhancement shaman. I remember playing my enhancement shaman the moment you could make a horde character on like your alliance count, because if per server, if you played alliance, you couldn't play horde, but like if you went to a different server, you could play horde, but you couldn't play alliance. So basically when you picked your faction, that's where you were stuck. I think Asmongold was saying that was like the better part of the game, that they should have never removed it and they should have never added like faction change. I remember making a post on the WoW board at the time about how badly I wanted faction change. I think this is also one of the first zones you enter in that is like a contested zone, because there is both a big Horde city and a big Alliance city, and you're pretty much flagged in the whole time if you're in a PvP server. So this zone also probably holds a lot of memories for a lot of people, getting just absolutely obliterated when they're trying to quest. While I think world PvP is a good thing, for the most part, the people who are doing it aren't just like killing people their level. They just make a max level character and just hang out in those zones and just gank people because it's more fun to just be a dirtbag, basically. I never wanted to play on a PvP server. I always played normal. And then when like all my friends started getting into WoW finally, they all wanted to play PvP servers. I didn't have any interest, but I went with them, and that's when I think I took a break with my hunter for a number of years. I still played it every expansion, but I think I took a pretty big break. It's still so weird to me that that's what Terran Mill looks like. I kind of miss like the more, I guess, campy version of the Undead, like the more Tim Burton-esque. Now they're just kind of like warlord-ish, and well, I suppose it was going to change anyways, because they were kind of just like in the areas that the Alliance didn't want, or like other humans didn't want. So it's like abandoned places, and they're like, well, this is us now. This is where we live. Or they died there and they were resurrected or something. I don't know. I think like the old Undead were kind of like more Disney-esque or like Tim Burton-esque, and now it's just kind of this. It's like Frankenstein. That's the aesthetic. Do you remember in Classic, or at least like when you bought the game, it was like 5 discs? I don't have the box anymore. I wish I did. So I had the box, and it had like this cardboard sleeve in it, and I would keep all the games, like not the games, all the discs in the sleeves they came in, because they all came in like an individual like paper sleeve, and like instructions and whatever stuff like that, even promotional material. So I pretty much kept the box and almost entirely intact, and I used to just keep it in my closet, except when I would clean my room as a kid / teenager. I would take the box out, and I would write down every level that my hunter got to. I remember like the first one I wrote down was like my character's name, which at the time it was, so I read it as Charon, Cherin. I remember I randomized the name. I pulled up the Windows like speak thing where you like type in and you hit go, and it's just like says the thing. So I put in the name. So I was like, I don't know what that name really, how do you pronounce that? I put it in. It said Charon, and I was like, okay, I could go with that. That sounds like pretty masculine. And you know, I hit go, jumped into the world. This is important for a couple of reasons. So, spelling out the name Cherin, you probably see the problem in this name. I didn't. I do now, but I did not see the problem in it. It is dangerously close to the word Sharon. Or it is Sharon. If you just, you know, the word share, like the artist, and you add I-N into it, now it's Sharon. So people just kept calling me Sharon, which is, that's wonderful. So my friends ranked on me forever about that. My character's name was Sharon, and I'll get more into that in a second. So yeah, I used to pull out the paper thing and write down every level. And then eventually I think I wrote my shaman's name also, because I was super proud of my characters. And I'd write their name, like, this is what level they are. Like I'd open it up after cleaning my room, like, damn, man, I wrote that when I was like level 25. That's crazy. And I held on to it forever. I think even when my parents split, and then like later on, you know, the house gets foreclosed on and shit like that. Like later in my life, I was still living there at one point. And yeah, I don't. You move so many times, you just lose things. Unfortunately, I still have a lot of my WoW stuff and my collectibles that I have kept over the years. But like that would have been the first one that I would have loved to see, but it's probably just in the dump now, and that's sad. But you know, I guess you can't keep everything. Yeah, so I joined a guild in Burning Crusade. I don't know if I should just save this story for Burning Crusade, because I definitely intended going through Outlands, or I'll just tell it again. You know what? I'll just tell it again. It'll be fine. So I joined a guild. They were called MGX, and this was in the guild this was in the server Greymane. I remember seeing a guild around called Crimson, and they were like the best in the server, and that's what I really wanted. But MGX was like, MGX or Chrome were like the ones I really wanted to end up in, because that was like 2 and 3. And oh no, the application I did wasn't for either one of those. I'll get to those. I ended up applying for this guild because you had to apply for guilds, like a freaking application. And I remember the guy really telling me, he's like, yeah, it's so good that you named your character with like a C, because the way our loot system goes, we go alphabetically. So like, it, you know, gives you a really good shot at things. I was like, what? And so they bring me to the guild. So I think this is the same one. So they made me meet with their hunter class leader. And then I had to kite a boss until it died. And that was the only way I could get brought into the guild for the raid team, which is crazy to think about. I did it somehow. I think the guy ended up just helping me. And I think I have a theory as to why now. So when I joined the guild, my name was Sharon. I'm also 13 at the time. I don't have the world's deepest voice. And then everybody's just being really nice to me all the time, and I could never figure out why. I think they thought I was a girl, because they were just kind of giving me stuff and bringing me into like raids. And when I finally like revealed I was like a 13-year-old boy, it was just this awkward silence, and then I got kicked from the guild. And then none of them ever talked to me again. It's funny how that works. Yeah, that is the moment where the name really clicked with me, that it was Sharon, not Charon. And I remember telling my friends that at school, the whole thing of getting kicked out of a guild and a bunch of people thinking I was a girl. And they thought it was so funny that for like, even now, they still bring up that my character was named Sharon. Yeah. Unrelated. That's the castle where they kept Thrall. It was like Adelaus Blackmore? Yeah, I think it's Blackmore. Pretty sure it's Adelaus. They trained Thrall to be like a gladiator, and I think they taught him English at the time, well, common, which doesn't really mean much, but they taught him like how to be like a good warrior and everything, to fight, you know, be a gladiator and entertaining and crap like that. And it ended up backfiring on him because he freed all the orcs and then made the new horde. There's a lot more to that story, and I probably butchered the lore a lot, but there's a good book out there. I think it's called The Rise of the Horde. It's a really old one. I just bought this book. This is Rise of the Horde and the Lore of the Clans. It's kind of just about Thrall. I gotta read it. I read The Rise of the Horde like on a bus on my way to work. So I used to take the bus to work, so I didn't have any fucking money. So I didn't have money or a license. So I used to do that. You can get both of these, like both these books together in like a really nice book. I got it for like $15 on Amazon. And it's hardcover. Definitely super recommend that. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and read that at some point. I got a bunch of other WoW books I need to get caught up on. Also, this is unrelated. Not long ago, my friend went into a coffee shop, and on the coffee table, it was like in a mall, so like a random coffee shop in a mall, and on the coffee table they had the game manuals for World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft Art Crusade. I think he asked them if he could just have them, and they told him he can have them, or he stole them. I'm not quite sure. I'd like to assume the first one, but yeah, he gave them to me, and maybe I'll just read through them and like do a video about it. Yeah, I always I never needed them back then, but now to like go back and read them, that means a lot more. I know I'm in Arathi Highlands. Where am I? Yeah, this is current Arathi, because obviously there's Stromgarde in the distance. There's a whole quest line that you can do right now that is out. It's pretty important. You should definitely go do it if you're really into this game. It is basically alliance based, but if you're Horde, it doesn't matter. It's part of the lore, so it brings you through it anyways. And there's kind of like a truce between like the Horde city and Stromgarde. I remember the first time coming to Arathi Basin off the wetlands. It was a big mistake. Leveling in the wetlands, I went to the Arathi Basin and just got fucking smoked by like everything. I was so underleveled. And then later on, I played a warrior during Classic also. I was leveling like 3 characters. And yeah, this is where you get the Whirlwind Axe. And at level 30, that is such a big 1-up for a warrior. If you can get that Whirlwind Axe, if you can kill like it's like an elite mob. It's like an air elemental. It's really hard to kill. But if you can kill it, it's such a big 1-up. I think the axe is the best version, but I did see people with some sword version of it, which you can do either or probably. It realistically doesn't matter that much. But I think the axe is technically the better version. It's good because my hat actually goes with this zone, because this is where Plunderstorm is held, or was held. I don't know where it'll be held. I wouldn't assume that they would do it in any other zone. I would kind of like to see them do it a little different than how they just did it. I did play it and get some of these skins, but I'm actually missing a piece from having the full black and purple set. I think it's like the cape is what I'm missing. Like the part that doesn't really matter. I did the first season of Plunderstorm. I beat the whole thing. I got Plunderlord. I was joking about it for so long. I think my Discord name forever was Plunderlord. Yeah, Plunderlord. And like my friends in Discord would constantly make the joke of like somebody would be talking to me like, do you not know you're talking to a Plunderlord right now? And I joined a dungeon with someone. I don't remember who. I was drinking pretty hard. And I thought it'd be funny, just like we're in this mythic dungeon. And the guy says something and I was like, I don't know if you know this, but you're in the presence of a Plunderlord. And the guy was just like, okay. I think I did it one other time and they just kicked me out for saying I'm a Plunderlord, or you're in the presence of a Plunderlord. Worth it. Definitely worth it. So I think this episode we're going to stop when we get about to the stone bridge. So as we go down, these zones are going to get pretty small. Loktar, my friends. So yeah, the zones are going to get pretty small, so there'll be a lot more variety. But I'm actually making pretty good pace. I think somebody said the size of both of the raids, not raids, both of these continents combined is about the actual distance of like Manhattan. That's crazy to think about. Yeah, but I'm so happy to just be, you know, walking. All the zones, they just have such a different vibe when you walk through it. I'm really now thinking about leveling a character where you walk the whole time. I kind of get it. Forever, my friend Chris said he didn't like Oblivion. There's a point to this. That he didn't like Oblivion or Skyrim. I think he got over and he liked Skyrim later. But he was such a big Morrowind player, and he was like, the reason why Morrowind is so good is because you have to walk everywhere and you have to travel and like see the world, and everything takes more time. But that's just part of the game. That's what you do. And so then you go into like Oblivion, and it's like, oh, immediately you can just fast travel like place to place to place. Skyrim, I'm pretty sure you have to at least discover it first before you can fast travel. It's not like this immediate thing out of the box, which maybe that's why he likes it more. But I suppose you could just ignore the fast travel in Oblivion and just walk everywhere and do it that way. But I mean, if everything's just in your face already, you might as well just use it. Do you remember the huge tank boss in like BFA? I did a little bit of BFA, and yeah, I remember coming here and killing the tank boss. It was one of the few zones I liked going to in BFA because I really wanted the full skin for like the Horde. It just looked really cool, like an orc warrior of the Horde kind of set. I never finished it. I think you still have to do a bunch of BFA crap to finish it, which is why I haven't got it. I've seen in other groups that people like are farming out like all the night elf gear from that, and I can't imagine the time that takes. But I guess I can. I'm literally walking everywhere. Ooh. So I have a tendency to collect WoW stuff. I think I said that kind of earlier. I know I talked about the collector's edition underneath the Hess truck. Also, next to the Hess truck is it's an Arthas action figure. It's like kind of a long box. I don't know if it's worth anything. I don't really care because it's just mine. And then I have a figure of a ghoul that I got off Amazon a long time ago. I think they put out the action figures. I don't think they did super well, but I got that one for like $5 at the time. And, you know, I like WoW everything, so I just bought it. I also have a bunch of the Warcraft cards. So there used to be a card store in town called Lost Harbor, and it was mostly Magic. Like, I played a little bit of Magic. I still do sometimes. But they were selling like the Warcraft cards, and then when Hearthstone came out, I think before Hearthstone came out, they already cut off the card game and stopped doing it. So they still had a bunch of like leftover stock on like those Warcraft cards, and they were like clearancing them. So I pretty much just bought like one of each set they had at the time. And I know that I opened them. I didn't play with them. But yeah, they're just on my shelf. And then not long ago, I ended up with a couple of more. I ended up with a couple more. I think either my friends got me it for Christmas or I bought it myself. I also have like the first 5 issues of like the comic series when it came out, because the card store had that at the same time with the cards. And I think the comic book series was, I don't know if it was ending yet. I got into it really late. But I also didn't have a lot of money, so I like, did what I could within my own means. So I bought the first 5 comic books. I got them, I think, almost like $1 an issue. And I just held on to them, and I still have them. And I occasionally would look up to try to buy all the other issues and just go through it that way. Nope, that's not that. Oh. Somewhere I just bought the book of the comics. So they recently pressed, it's not even recent, I'm just behind on things. They pressed pretty much all the comics together in like a hardcover book, which is like the Varian Wren story of like him in the arena. I think there's more than that, but that's where there's a rogue in it too, and a druid. I don't know if they're I think they're both still alive, but she's important because she does show up in the lore, and she's in a dungeon. Is she in a dungeon? She definitely shows up in the lore. She didn't until the comic, and then after the comic, she actually shows up in game at some point. Yes. It's not Valyria. She's like a rogue. She's in red, and she has green daggers. And her eyes are green. Hold on, let me find it. This book. So I got this for like 15 bucks. Or so. Yeah, okay, so that girl. Let's see. Oh, Valyria. Oh, wait, so I was right. It is Valyria. Yeah. Sangir. Songu. Yeah, she's in the comic book. Oh, yeah, she shows up in Legion. Okay, so she's in BFA. So she's in a bunch of books rather than the game, but she is in the game. Oh, she's in Battle for Undercity. Okay. I guess we'll stop at this priest. And just call it good. There we go.